Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's Nitro Kyosho. What I have here is just a basic, this is a 1/8 scale buggy, and a couple of my subscribers were asking me about clutches for these buggies, and a lot of people out there are buying ready to run, so they're not learning, there's not a lot of kits left out there. When you build a kit, you learn how everything goes together. You learn how the gearboxes go together, and the shocks go together, and the axles and everything, and the flywheel and the clutch. And you have a better understanding of the buggy or whatever whether it's a helicopter, buggy, monster truck, anything. If you put it together, you have a better understanding of how everything works. There's not much mystery once it's together. And not that it's anybody's fault. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of kits left as far as these things. Even Kyosho now has switched over to making race roller, vehicles and everything. So anyways, the big question was about the clutch and how the clutch works. And what is a centrifugal clutch? What does it mean? How, they were wondering when the time came, how do they do it? Where is the clutch? And the whole 9 yards. So we're going to go over a little bit, and I'm going to explain to you how the clutch works. All right. First of all, let me get a couple of parts here. I got it. Sitting on the engine, guys, you have the flywheel, okay? And the clutch shoes, depending if it's a 2-piece, 3-piece aluminum. And here, this is a 3-piece clutch shoe kit. Alright. And you have also a clutch bell. Alright. This is the gear here that's going to go with your spur gear, okay, in the center differential. This is what's coming off of your engine here, okay. And inside of the clutch bell in the front, one goes in the front and one goes in the inside of it. Okay, you're going to be using ball bearings. These are shielded. Okay. So basically what's going to make it up is you're going to have a flywheel, and it's going to have the 3 prongs coming out. Your clutch shoes are going to go on to, they have holes in them, they're going to slide, okay, if this is one of your flywheel pegs, the clutch shoe is going to go right over that. And you have your clutch, the springs. So how it works, let me see here if I can give you one more piece of information. Well, one of the other big things before I go any further, guys, and I'll have to show you a picture so you can see it, is when you're putting the clutch shoes on, they can go on either way. And you don't want to make the mistake of putting them on the wrong way and putting it all together, because it's not going to work. They're going to spin the wrong way. And then you're going to pull the engine out and pull the clutch bell and do the whole thing again. It's not a major job. You can really do it in a couple of minutes. Disconnect your exhaust, the 4 bolts underneath, any linkages, pop your engine out. You can't do the clutch bell and everything with it on. You have to take the engine off the vehicle. Well, let me show you a quick illustration here so you can get an idea. Alright, you can see this. This is your flywheel here. Okay, and the clutch shoes are going to go onto the flywheel, guys. Alright, and then you're going to have the clutch bell that is, you know, going to go over the top of the clutch shoes. Now if you notice the way these are going, so you see the clutch, okay, and the way these are going is because the engine spins counterclockwise. Now, as the engine revs up and the bell housing, okay, the clutch shoes, as it spins inside, the bell housing is free right now, okay, it's loose on there. I can't get the camera in here to show you, but it's loose. The clutch bell is it's gonna spin on there freely. And you're going to say, well, how does this work? So what happens is you have your crankshaft coming onto the flywheel. Now that's going to start spinning. And as that spins, the clutch shoes open up. They start to spread open. And as they open up, they engage on the inside of, right here, this clutch bell. Okay, the inside of this, they're going to spread open and they're going to engage in this, and then that is what's going to turn your spur gear, and that's what's going to make you go. And that's basically a centrifugal clutch, how it works. They call it a centrifugal clutch because it works by centrifugal motion. Unlike a motorcycle, you have a mechanical. You're actually engaging in, you know, with your hand. Some of the pocket bikes also have like the centrifugal clutches and everything too. And that's basically how it works. So really you have your engine, okay, and you have your flywheel on there. Now the illustrations in these books, if you were actually to build a kit like this, well, this one wasn't, like, this is the book for my Kyosho. But I believe the book gives an illustration for that too, because that did come as a kit form at one time. So that's basically it, guys. You have your flywheel and you have your clutch shoes with the springs, and they go on the clutch. The shoes go onto, there's 3 posts, providing you have a 3 shoes, you know, clutch setup on your buggy or vehicle. Most of them today are 3. And that's it. You know, you put these on. Okay, the 3 shoes go onto the flywheel, and then that's basically the people that were asking me was basically how it worked. I don't know if they necessarily want to know how it went together, but I figured I'd let you know how it goes together, and that's basically how the whole system works. You know, flywheel. Clutch shoes are on the flywheel. They have the springs that keep them tense. As the motor spins counterclockwise, the clutch shoes start to open up, spread open like that. They hit the inside of the clutch bell. Once they hit that, then you've got your power, and then the clutch bell is engaging into your spur gear. And the spur gear is this gear right here, and your flywheel is right here. Okay. And let me pull the camera off of the pod here, and I'll give you a little quick show of where everything is in there, how it's sitting. So you can see down right here, and you can see that's moving. That's your clutch bell down there, and then the spur gear. And another thing, guys, when you're putting the engine back on, you want to take a piece of paper, you know, maybe about like that, maybe about ½ an inch. And when you're lining your motor back up, make sure that you put that paper between your spur gear and the clutch bell, and that's how you're going to set your gear mesh. And you don't want, when you run the paper through by hand, by moving the gear and running it through by hand, you don't want it to cut through. If it's cutting through the paper, guys, that's going to tell you that it's going to be meshing too tightly. You basically want it to come out the other side looking like a track mark in the paper, but not cutting through. And that's basically how a centrifugal clutch is put together, and that's basically how it works. The engine spins counterclockwise, and the shoes are positioned to swing open as it goes that way. It engages, once they spring open, they engage into the clutch bell, and that's what gives you your power and drives everything. So I hope that this video gave you a little bit better of an explanation and a little idea of how the clutch works and everything. And I hope that you got something out of this. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.